Hello and welcome. Today's episode is going to be a special one because I just got a medical diagnosis yesterday of I think it's called precautionary ASD level 1. And they asked me to go take further testing, but now that I have that diagnosis, I would like to say a few free speech things. First of all, here's how I would investigate Elon Musk for the election fraud he committed in 2025. For those of you who don't know, I have a background in the military SHF program, which happened to teach me, among like very few people, a set of skills that prescribes me the necessary resources to effectively audit something like Starlink's election interference, because there are multiple stages at which you can change a vote, or in this instance I'll just say a piece of data. I don't want to levy any false accusations or anything, you know. We know how sensitive he is, you know. He's got empathy for cars, so he's truly transcended humanity. I hope a tumor cures him soon of his wretched life. But Starlink could have changed the data at any number of points. I think it would be most apparent if I were to hide data change to put it in the encryption algorithm. So again, if I were auditing a system like Starlink, which had a big play in the election that took place in November of 2024, just so we're all clear, I may have that one diagnosis, but I have a few other diagnoses that give me some special talents, like I also have ADHD and anxiety, so I've definitely thought this out, and when I mysteriously disappear, we'll know what happened, you know. We got the Gestapo popping in, and whatever. I'm the first on the list with the woke mind virus or whatever. I got the COVID vaccine, and then it turned me trans, and all of a sudden I'm the failed government experiment because my trans wokeness turned into an effective version of Marxism that then allows me to rally a group of people under a similar ideal that we may retain our own humanity even under the mask of anonymity. And I don't think that's something a lot of people do. A lot of people put on a mask and then start saying like some of the most awful things. Like someone like Elon Musk puts on a National Socialist mask every so often. And that's why I make it very clear that I believe in communism, because the National Socialist movement definitely claimed that it was looking out for the better interest of its people, but the way in which it went about it was not done in the same way of what I believe, where I believe the proletariat should rise up against the petty bourgeoisie of our era, which is held in technology, which is exactly how election interference takes place, especially given that this election was counted and tallied in a way that was different than in 2020, which, don't ask conservatives whether or not 2020's election counts, so when I get shot, just remember this is free speech. But anyway, encryption algorithms are very easy to shift pieces of data because they are already shifting pieces of data to encrypt them across the radio spectrum as it shoots from the machine point to the satellite. So I would validate entries into the machine and entries into the satellite are the same, as well as at the satellite payload, it would not be complicated to take that algorithm, decrypt it, change the data, re-encrypt it, and then send it back down. So I would also check that stream up there because that's a single point where Starlink has it, and then it's broadcasting down to a tally machine, or whatever. I don't know what they're doing. This is just a piece of data, you know, it's not a vote. But at that point, you could also encrypt, decrypt from the satellite to the tally bot, and then you could also, at the very end of the process, just report false data, which would not be difficult. I think when we had the big COVID pandemic and people were getting in car crashes and succumbing to their COVID symptoms at the same time, it was a miracle that doctors were able to diagnose such things. I was critical of that because at the time, well, and we get into a really weird phase where COVID sort of warmed me to not liking Trump anymore because Trump is kind of like awful, and the way he handled it, I saw the results of his dog policies. I'm trying not to swear. Anyway, and then January 6th happened, and the two sort of masks of my closet from the military and the politics broke, and now you have me. So I'm StickyBasket, and I'm going to be honest, it's pretty clear to me that the election was rigged. I mean, obviously, when you get someone who has the capability to go into the social security networks and then just wipe names out of the database or whatever because he doesn't know how to read COBOL, hey, let's all trust his satellite technology and the petty bourgeoisie that works under him and therefore depends on his economic resources to guarantee their job. You wouldn't say no to Big Daddy Elon Musk, would you? Well, imagine if Mark Zuckerberg were given a request by Elon Musk, which is strange because I mentioned the other day, if you look, the social media side, Mark Zuckerberg actually has beaten Elon Musk, even though financially there's such a big disparity. But Elon Musk's track record is so bad with his social interactions that he bought a social media site and collapsed it to 1/10 of its value. I don't know what kind of efficiency he works on, but gee whiz, he still is making a worse product for everyone and has no awareness of how people perceive him, which is hilarious. Could you imagine just trying to shield against criticism by weaponizing your young child? What a wild thing to do. And the fact that he's a billionaire and autistic, I mean, what do I gotta say about the National Socialist Elon Musk, you know? Anyway, oh, and that brings me to the comparative analytics of social media sites and thereby the distrust of Elon Musk and his capability to transmit information effectively. By the way, when I get more money, I plan to undercut Elon Musk's entire Starlink system and build a secondary internet where we'll be able to operate free of any commerce and advertising and marketing and just be ourselves. Sort of like a digital repository of people's contacts where we'd also have forums that are localized to regions and as well as spread out by interests so that you could actually use it to effectively connect with people, because why do we have social media that tells us to hate each other? I believe everyone should love your neighbor. Now, if your neighbor's with Elon Musk, we do have exceptions, you know, obviously we can't tolerate some things. But it's very important that we not let people like Elon Musk take what we hold dear. And I just want to share something with you real quick. Sorry, Palantir. He was sleeping on this. But I bought this. I'm a big fan of Nikola Tesla, and I love electronics. My whole life I have. And when I was younger, I thought Elon Musk was the coolest guy in the world because he did electronic vehicles. And then as I grew up and became an adult, the guy was posting about cat girls. So he seemed personable to me because I have some trouble relating to other people. But I tell you what, I have never gone that far off the deep end. There's a certain limit that we can justify based off of the way our mental illnesses affect how we perceive social situations. But that does not justify bigotry, nor does it justify the slandering, literally, that Elon Musk has done to the historical figure Nikola Tesla. The guy was a genius and preached very prolific things about electricity for his time and was undercut by capitalists. But you can see the capitalist obviously is going to take that image and then present it out so that he becomes a symbol of that, and then that association gets made and it creates a false idol in the mind. And a lot of people now worship Donald Trump as a demagogue, which is strange because Donald Trump sold Bibles. I mean, if you read that thing, Jesus went into a church and was tipping over tables because he was mad about how it had turned into a marketplace. We live in a world that needs doers, and I'm not the only one that does. We all can do what we can, but if I were to investigate Elon Musk, I'm sure that I would find something. And the only reason I say that is because there is no way a guy that pays someone to play Path of Exile 2 for him doesn't see the PoE and then also comparate it to the PoE for point of entry when it comes to routing systems in network satellites. I'm sure he sees the same thing I see, because it's kind of funny to pay someone for Path of Exile 2 while also having a point of entry. So your acronyms would be, you have your point of entry with Starlink, and then you're paying someone on Path of Exile 2. That's hilarious. Not like when you're the country that gets its democracy undermined by this silly little billionaire joke, but like, Elon Musk could have been good. And instead he was weaponized because he went under the wing of Donald Trump, who provided a father-like figure to him, because again, Donald Trump appropriates biblical things, and as a result of providing that, oh yes my boy, to Elon Musk, now they have this strange synergy where they are making the government a tenth of the value of what it was, while at the same time providing no avenue for us to connect with each other. Because what's most important is that we are all having great days. And I don't think that's very possible when you have a government that willfully ignores the existence of your population and then slanderizes the history you have of serving in the military. But that's my experience. When Elon Musk goes and deletes policies I may have had a hand in writing, like, that's what I feel. And yet, somehow I'm the wrong one for thinking the system is wrong. And I tell you what, like, I just think it's so nice to be here. I hope someday I get back to being less stressed out about the politics going on. But I just kind of wanted to vent a little bit because, again, I have a very specific skill set that I really enjoy in electronics, and Elon Musk really, I think, has done a personal wrong to me in appropriation of Tesla as sort of like, oh wow, it's the self-driving car. This is what Tesla would have wanted. Tesla would not have wanted this level of capitalism. Tesla would have given up all his money to make sure the problems of the world were solved. And I know Elon Musk hopes he can do that, but he has been misled way off course and needs some more holistic approaches to history to be taught to him. And I believe one of the best ways to teach someone is by example. So if you'll all join me in rising up as the proletariat and ignoring the structural systems in place that are meant to oppress us, that'd be lovely. But if not, I hope you have a great day, because I don't know. I know I'm voting in the next election, but at the same time, is voting enough? Can procedural change a system that is so corrupt that at this point we have a bourgeoisie controlling the government, a petty bourgeoisie controlling the technology, and again, because the petty bourgeoisie has a higher instance of autism, I can say that I have a preliminary diagnosis, so I'm allowed to say that. But they have a higher instantiation of autism within their community. Because of that, there's a false sense of loyalty to the bourgeoisie that needs to be broken. And I'm not saying I'm going to go ahead and lead all the autistic people. I don't know how to do that. I am new to being autistic. Well, I don't know how it works, actually. And honestly, I don't even necessarily want the title of it. I think it's strange that I was screened for it, because a lot of what I deal with is actually like a very unique experience. And I think a lot of the things that I was screened for that related to my social struggles of relating with people and connecting really comes down to like the distrust I have for the systems in place as a result of my personal experience of getting discharged from the Navy as a result of it. It all boils down to like our experiences are unique prisms that create us, and we're all beautiful fucking rainbows, varying in hues and saturation. And the government wants to see us in black and white. But they can't see us in black and white. They can set forth rules in black and white, but our colors will always shine. So Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you think Elon Musk stole the 2024 election, go ahead and ba-da-boom with the like button. And yeah, sorry I did that. Anyway, love you. Bye.